Sometimes I dive into these research articles and I'm like, whoa, so much to learn. And women's nutrition is definitely one of those
It
topics.
really is.
Like, it's fascinating, right? But every life stage seems to come with its own set of rules.
Absolutely.
So thankfully, you're here to break it all down for us today.
Happy to be here.
We're mainly focusing on pregnancy, postpartum, and menopause, those big ones.
And you hit the nail on the head. Those are some of the biggest changes in a woman's life, at least biologically.
Big time. So should we jump right into it?
Let's do it.
All right, so pregnancy, often associated with, those interesting
Of
cravings.
course.
But the research really emphasized nutrient-dense foods and even before conception.
Yes. And that's something that often gets overlooked. It's not just about when you become pregnant. It's about preparing your body beforehand.
It's like setting the stage.
Exactly. Exactly.
So give us an example. What's something that's super important even before you're thinking about baby clothes?
Well, folic acid is a great example.
Okay.
It's crucial for a baby's neural tube development. And this all happens in those very, very early weeks of pregnancy, often before a woman even knows she's pregnant.
Wow, that's early.
Yeah, so if you're not getting enough folic acid beforehand, it can, increase the risk of certain birth defects.
That's huge. And that's not just about the mother's health anymore. We're talking about a healthy baby right from the start.
Precisely. And while we're on the subject of essential nutrients, we can't forget iron.
Okay, iron, yeah.
So important for healthy blood flow, oxygen delivery.
Makes sense.
And during pregnancy, a woman's blood volume increases dramatically.
Yeah.
And of course, the baby needs iron for growth as well.
Right, of course, of course. Now, the articles mentioned something about pairing iron-rich foods with vitamin C, something about absorption.
Oh, absolutely. Vitamin C is like a booster for iron absorption.
Interesting.
It helps,
Yeah.
especially with plant-based iron sources. So think like squeezing a little lemon on your spinach
Okay, yeah.
or adding some bell peppers to your lentil soup. Just
Mhm.
little things like that can make a big difference.
Love those little hacks. All right, what else? We can't forget calcium, right? Got to build those strong bones. For both,
Yeah,
obviously.
absolutely. Yes, bone health is crucial.
And then there was DHA. I wasn't quite sure about that one.
So DHA is an omega-3 fatty acid, and it's basically, well, it's essential for a baby's brain development.
Okay, brain food. Got it.
Exactly. Good sources are fatty fish, like salmon.
Salmon, yeah. Good old salmon.
Walnuts are good too.
So we got folic acid, iron, calcium, DHA. Sounds like a lot to keep track of.
It can feel overwhelming, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I think the key here is, first of all, remember every pregnancy is different.
That's true.
And listening to your body, working with your healthcare provider, and focusing on incorporating these nutrient-rich foods, it can make a world of difference.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. Wow, pregnancy is intense. Makes you appreciate, the strength of women.
Absolutely, it's pretty remarkable.
Speaking of strength, what about postpartum?
Yeah,
Because that's a whole other thing, right?
it is. It is. And it's a time when, nourishing yourself takes on a whole new meaning. You're caring for a newborn, but taking care of your own nutritional needs, so important for recovery.
You always hear about bouncing back after having a baby, but it seems like it's about way more than that, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
about, replenishing and rebuilding. Your body just went through something incredible.
Incredible is one word for it.
Right. And you have to factor in sleep deprivation, hormonal shifts.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
And you actually need more calories during this time, especially if you're breastfeeding.
That's right. We're talking potentially an additional 500 calories per day.
500? Seriously?
Yeah, breastfeeding moms need that extra energy to support milk production. And of course, their own energy levels.
That makes sense. So, what are we talking about here? Just piling on the food.
Not exactly. It's about quality, not just quantity. Nutrient-rich foods that give you that sustained energy, support milk production.
Got it, got it. So we're talking lean proteins, healthy fats, all that good stuff.
Exactly. Think of it like fueling yourself for a marathon. Because let's be honest, that's kind of what it is.
Huh. That's one way to put it. And protein is key for healing and all that, right?
Absolutely. Tissue repair, milk production, it's all connected.
And what about our old friends iron and calcium? They're still hanging around, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, there's still VIPs. Iron levels can be seriously depleted after labor, so replenishing those is crucial.
Makes sense.
Plus, if you're breastfeeding, you're still providing iron for your baby.
Oh, right, through your milk. Yeah.
Exactly. And calcium. Still essential for both of you. Your baby needs it for their bones, and you need it to replenish your own stores.
It's wild how our bodies just know what to do, Even after the baby's born, you're still this amazing source of everything they need.
It's pretty incredible. But I think it's important to acknowledge that the postpartum period can be really chaotic.
Chaotic might be an understatement.
Mm,
Who has time for like elaborate meal prep when you're dealing with diaper explosions and sleep deprivation?
exactly. That's why it's key to be prepared and to be kind to yourself. You're not going to be whipping up gourmet meals every night.
You know, kidding. So what's your advice like for quick, easy things new moms can have on hand?
Okay, think pre-chopped veggies and hummus, hard-boiled eggs, maybe some nuts and seeds.
Love those.
All right, Greek yogurt is great, or some fruit with nut butter. Just simple things that give you that boost of energy and nutrients when you need it most.
Like a snack size recovery kit. So smart. But okay, eventually we have to move on from the baby bubble, right? And that leads us to another big one, menopause.
And menopause, unfortunately, gets a bad rap.
It does.
But it's just another stage, another chapter in a woman's life.
I like that.
And nutrition still plays a huge role in how you experience it.
It's true. Menopause does have kind of a negative connotation,
It really does, yeah.
but it's just a natural part of life, right?
Exactly. It's just another transition. And just like with pregnancy and postpartum, nutrition is super important.
So what are the big things to focus on during this time?
Well, one of the biggest ones is bone health.
Okay, bone health. Yeah, I remember reading about that.
As women go through menopause, estrogen levels decline, and that can lead to bone loss.
And that's what increases the risk of osteoporosis, right?
Right. So calcium and vitamin D become even more crucial during this time.
Makes sense. But like, what are some practical ways to make sure you're getting enough? I feel like we always hear calcium, 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 but
Yeah, it's one thing to say it, another to do it.
exactly.
For calcium, dairy products can be a good source if you can tolerate them, of
Yeah,
course.
not everyone can.
But you also have leafy green vegetables, things like kale, collard greens,
Love those.
almonds are good too, and fortified plant-based milk alternatives.
So there are options even if you don't do dairy. Okay, what about vitamin D? That was the other one.
Yes, so sunlight is the best way to boost vitamin D naturally, but that's not always possible for everyone.
Especially in the winter.
Exactly. Or if you live somewhere with not a lot of sunshine.
Yeah, true.
In those cases, a supplement might be a good idea.
Good to know.
But it's always best to talk to your doctor to see what's right for you.
Because everyone's different.
Exactly.
Okay, now there was one thing in the research that I was curious about. Phytoestrogens.
Oh, yes!
They sound kind of sci-fi, I guess.
A little bit. So basically, they're compounds found in some plant-based foods, and they have a similar structure to estrogen,
Interesting.
which means they can actually interact with our body's estrogen receptors.
Woo!
It's thought that they might help manage some of those hormonal fluctuations that happen during menopause.
Oh, so not replacing the estrogen, but kind of like dots stepping in.
Exactly. A little backup.
Got it, got it. So where do we find these phytoestrogens?
Soy products are a good source.
Soy, okay.
Flax seeds and whole grains, too. But it's important to note that the research is still ongoing.
Right, because with nutrition, it always feels like there's something new to learn.
Exactly. What we think is true today might change tomorrow with new research. That's why it's so important to stay informed.
And talk to your healthcare providers. They're the experts.
Absolutely.
Okay, before we wrap up, any other nutritional all-stars we should have on our radar?
Well, we covered some big ones, but I think it's always good to reiterate that a holistic approach is best.
Of course.
Lots of fruits, vegetables, lean protein, healthy fats, fiber, all that good stuff.
Eat the rainbow. Right.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of good old-fashioned H2O.
Water. Always forget about water.
It's essential for, well, pretty much everything our bodies do.
It really is. Well, this has been a journey. Pregnancy, postpartum, menopause. Women's bodies are amazing.
They really are.
And it seems like the key takeaway here is that we need to support them at every stage.
Absolutely. Listen to your body, nourish it with what it needs.
So to all our listeners out there, what's one small change you can make today based on what we've talked about? Maybe swap that soda for a glass of water.
Love it.
Or add some flax seeds to your breakfast. Every little bit counts.
Absolutely. It's about progress, not perfection.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, everyone.
Have a
Until next time.